Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I am here with Pelmav of Big Boys FC. Pelmav, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Chocolate. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Busy, busy as we just discussed. So, to get straight into this, I know you have to leave in about 20-ish minutes. I don't want to keep you, of course. I want to definitely try to burn through these questions as thoroughly as possible, of course.
Yeah, all good.
So, we'll start easy. Where are you from?
I'm from the greater Houston area, so Texas.
Wow, okay, the third Tejas uh, inhabitor that I've had as an interviewee. So
Makes
that's
sense.
wow, yeah, that's pretty. What are the odds there?
A big state, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's a fabulous state. I've been around the Dallas Fort Worth Arlington area. Pretty cool, pretty
Mm-hmm,
cool.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's nice. You know, another Southerner like myself.
Yep.
So that's nice. I like to find that. How you play rematch. Do you watch soccer slash football in real life? Do you play it? Do you watch it or anything like that?
I definitely don't play it, but I do watch it on occasion. I inherited, unfortunately, a Manchester United fan from my father.
Wow.
So obviously that's been pretty brutal over the last like decade or so. But honestly, they're not my first team. My first team was Watford, but they've been pretty bad for a really long time. So it's just not really much to talk about with them, really.
Yeah, that is exciting. That you're a Watford fan only because I guess they're not considered one of the big teams in the Premier League, which I guess
Definitely not.
definitely makes it more fun though. I would think because you don't know if you're gonna win, lose, draw in the match. So certainly that kind of helps, I guess, with the entertainment value.
Yeah, just been stuck down there in that second league for some years now. So hopefully the boys can get us back up into the Prem.
Yeah, hopefully that's where every English club wants to play. It's possibly the best league in the world. It's hard to tell though with I guess the other top leagues out there like La Liga and whatnot.
It is very hard.
So Manchester United fan, would you say how would you describe your style of play then? Would you be able to find any I guess similarities with Manchester United in the way you play?
Oh man, probably not because because I'm a full bred keeper. That's what I do. I stick to keeping, and I'm probably the most opposite of Onana, who we had in
Hmm.
net. Because he's known for he's supposed to be known for good distribution and stuff, and he does not have any of that. So we're I try to really focus on the shot blocking is I would say my forte in net, and then just trying to be safe options. And sometimes if you see the guy a runner going way down the field, sometimes you gotta just put it on him in this game. So just try to be more calm and collected.
Okay, maybe more like a De Gea, maybe possibly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he was pretty good for them. I thought. Sad to see him go for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, and how would you say? I guess the team plays. What's the style of the team? I guess without giving too much away, of course, just so the other teams in competition will not know your secrets.
Yeah, I would say historically, we've never been a very technical team. We don't really have a lot of like, at least in the time of like the previous tournaments and stuff, didn't really develop a lot of individual skills, and so we were able to climb, through ranked and all that stuff, and develop a lot of synergy just by playing team ball. And I think that's what a lot of people that maybe don't play in like these, organized teams, people just play the game regularly. That's the hardest part for them in playing the game is because a lot of people they just don't really play a lot of great team ball. The passing is kind of weak. In a lot of events, you notice that probably when you queue into some threes and fours games, and so yeah, we just find it really easy if you just play really good team. You communicate. It just comes easy like that. So, but we're working a lot, trying to develop how we are individually and just stick to a handful of formations that we have. But it's all about just pass first team, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the correct way to play it. Honestly, you need ball movement, you need possession. It's okay if you're not the most technically gifted, as long as you guys understand the objective.
Yeah.
How long has Big Boys FC been together as a team? And we're going to talk about the name as well because I have been curious as to how you guys came up with BBFC.
Yeah. Well, Big Boys FC, the actual club itself, was an idea I believe that was established maybe in May. So just before the game actually got launched, it was still like in the second beta and stuff. But us as a team, just I know we get into maybe some other questions or whatever, but our team is completely comprised of IRL friends. We're very unlike other teams where it's some people it's just like they have the passion for the game and they obviously have to go and recruit other players and then they have to develop all the communication and they have to they got to learn each other. Us we got like a solid 6 maybe 7 of us on the team and we've known each other basically our whole lives, so we're just playing. So we have obviously that chemistry, that communication comes very easy. So that was never really a barrier for us to break through. So Big Boys technically has an actual, in terms of the friendship that has always been there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because you are right. Some of these teams, I mean, they're just a conglomerate of players from around the country trying to all band together for the common interest. So it's really cool that
Mm-hmm.
you guys are all IRL friends. So speaking on that, would you say there's been any stressful times in leading your club since you guys are all in real life friends? Are there any? I guess are the conversations a bit easier, the difficult ones? If someone happens to maybe screw up in a scrim, or maybe during a practice things don't go right, and you have to maybe rein everybody in. Has that been stressful? Is it
Yeah,
easier?
I would say, I mean, I can't say for certain because I'm not in the position of other captains, but I would say just from ours, just because obviously we've known each other for so long, it's like that classic boys friendship, where you can like roast each other, make fun of each other, but at the end of the day, there's no like, that you don't really mean anything by it. So in the actual games, though, if somebody does something wrong, I am a believer in just not calling it out in terms of the game, and then we can always go after the game and we can talk about it. In the game, it's always just about positivity, trying to like just recover if we make a mistake and stuff like that. So, but I think overall, I would say it's probably been less stressful in terms of actually managing the players on our team, just because again we all know each other.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I understand the whole, boys being boys and we're just together and, oh, you messed up, how we can laugh about it here, but we'll have a serious conversation during, I guess, VOD reviews or, tactic reviews or whatever you want to call it, of
Mm-hmm.
course, right? Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I mean, at least you guys all know each other and you can all be confident and open with what the dialogue that you want to present.
Yep.
So, I've had the pleasure in watching you guys play in the Launch Cup, but what other, I guess, experiences do you guys have in tournaments?
Right now, so really the launch cup was our first big one. That was like the first one we were waiting obviously for the launch cup for a while, and we got in the launch cup. We're currently enrolled in a little bit of a lesser league, like lesser known league called the RNL, the Rematch National League. It's a United States league, and it's not like a tournament again. It's like an actual proper season, and that's actually just kicking off this week with a couple teams getting their games underway. There's a couple, maybe some known teams out there, such as Corona Victoris is
Hmm.
in the RNL, as well as Manshine City, Arctic Aces, stuff, teams like that. But it just started now. So really, when it was during the time of the Federation Cup, the Launch Cup, there was no other competition really at the time. I think we were too late. We didn't know about the Rematch Esports NA Open, which is that massive tournament with like over 100 teams in it.
Yeah.
So we weren't a part of that. And then I think we also just missed out on the cutoff to join the Rematch Champions League their first season, because that was also closed like sometime near the end of June. So it was really the Federation is where it kind of started. And then now, though, we're starting to really kick it up into gear. Today's Wednesday. Today is the first day of a new tournament called Off the Wall Wednesday, hosted by Aki, I
Achi. Yeah,
believe.
Achi.
Yeah, Achi. Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm gonna be doing basically after the interview is just a little bit of prep for the team, and then we're gonna go into the matches and stuff. Right now we have I think believe 14 teams or so, so we're gonna see if we hit that above 16 mark to maybe take it into the next style of tournament, which is just more teams and stuff. But that one's obviously today. And then we have obviously, what the interview is for. We have the PRA, of course, gearing up this Friday. Very excited for the PRA. A lot of
Yes.
incredible teams, probably genuinely astounding teams in this tournament. So I can't wait for the level of competition there, and just even to watch maybe in the castings, obviously, and stuff that you do.
Thank you.
And then outside of that, I think we have. the Rematch Esports NA test tournament on Sunday that starts. And that's just, a whole nother thing. And then obviously still looking for more as well. So really it goes from like the time, where I first met you, obviously in the Launch Cup, where it was really just Launch Cup was pretty much all we had, to now it's like we got 4 or 5 things going on
Yeah.
for us at this exact moment of time.
Yes, you are not hurting for tournaments or competition for sure right now.
Yeah.
I am certainly, I'm looking forward to the off the wall Wednesday stuff, since I guess that's going to be every week, right? From what I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. A little midweek competition, and then possibly just whatever tournaments rolling on a given weekend. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And it's definitely a way for you to get big boys out there, really make a name for yourself. So that's got to be pretty exciting as well.
Very exciting.
Does Big Boys FC have a favorite stadium to play in?
I would say depending on which team member you ask, you'll get different answers. I would say me personally, and maybe a couple of us, we like more the dark tinted ones originally. So what I would say is before season 0 qualifiers dropped, like that second tier in the battle pass, our favorites were either the seabed, which was like the ocean place,
Yes.
or it'd be the space station. Just because they were nice lighting and that's what we do. I actually would personally probably pick the seabed. But ever since the qualifiers dropped, I would say our favorite stadium is the mountains with like the hillside and like the windmill in the back.
Yes, yes. Yes, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm in
so I
the
would say that.
Netherlands when I'm in that map.
But yeah, but then if you ask, I would say like one of my team members, Bengals. His favorite map very opposite to everyone else. He loves the desert. He likes like
Oh
the
my
bright one
God.
because he likes to be able to see the map and stuff. So yeah, it really just depends on who you ask.
I say I've never heard anyone say that up to this point. In the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're the 6th interviewee I've had. Yeah, everyone has essentially established that the desert was the most hated map. So that's wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's cool. So speaking of Bengals, speaking of your team, I guess in general, I do have a loaded question for you. It's gonna sound kind of crazy, and I don't mean to put you on the
No, we're here.
spot.
We're here.
Okay, good. You're locked in with me. So, excluding yourself, which you could include yourself, but if you had to pick one teammate for the broadcast to really keep an eye on, and really you can pick multiple teammates, but if you had to pick one teammate that you think will really shine, who is either a superstar now or a rising star in your eyes, who would that be, or whom?
I would say just very objectively speaking, I would say Bengals is definitely the guy you want to keep your eye on the offensive end. He's I would say he's kind of our hybrid player. We have a player who is very much more of a creator than he is more of a goal scorer. And then we have the opposite where we have a guy that's much more of a goal scorer than he is a creator. And then we have Bengals, who's kind of like that middle hybrid. And so you can really see him do a lot of different things at the same time on the pitch. And I think that's where we get a lot of his value from. So his decision making is very high, and because of that, obviously it leads to many different opportunities. What I would say though is definitely the biggest sleeper on our team because of the role that he plays is Wild Red Rage. It was his original name, but now he changed his name to Huey on Steam. I would say he's definitely a guy they should keep an eye out on the broadcast just because of the work that he does defensively, and then because he's very interesting. He's the only mouse and keyboard player we have on our team.
Wow.
And so, a defender that plays mouse and keyboard, and it's just like the certain ways that he whips the ball around. You could just tell that he's not on a controller, and it's just he has really good control over the ball. And yeah, so it leads to good passes, but more so than anything, just the job that he does on the defensive end is a big part of what we do at BBFC.
Yeah, that's wild that he plays on mouse and keyboard. I've tried it. The passing just feels too off for me personally. I don't understand
Yeah,
how anyone can do it.
yeah,
So no, that is cool. So okay, we'll have to keep an eye on. Of course, I've watched you guys play, and yes, I can certainly attest to Bengals. He is very good. Why did Wild
hmm
Red? Why did he change his name to Huey?
I don't. He's always been Wild Red Rage, but his name's actually Huey, but
Oh,
he just kind of chose a. He just try to reword it, just have a little new brand and stuff. So just moving forward, he's just call him Huey rather than Wild Red Rage.
okay. I'm about to write that for sure down so I can say that during like a team introduction, essentially, because that will definitely
Yeah, because
trip
it is
me
spelled a
up.
little confusing.
Oh, really? Is it like
Yeah,
HEWIE?
so it's like HYUWI.
Oh wow, okay. HWI. Wow, okay, yeah, that is very different. Is that how it's actually spelled in real life, or is that just how he's
No,
phonetically
no.
spelling it?
Yeah, that's phonetically.
Okay, that makes more sense with six. That would be wild. Wild,
Yeah.
wild, wild red.
Wild Red Rage.
Awesome, awesome. So, we're kind of approaching that time limit. We are certainly getting there. So I will try to, I guess, curtail this interview just a little bit so we can get you out of
We're
here
good.
on
We're good.
time. Okay, perfect, perfect. So you said that you like to play, I guess, in the more offensive. Oh no, you're the goalkeeper, of course. So I guess being as goalkeeper, would you say that you like to be in the goal area more, or are you more of like do you like the keeper sweep more?
I definitely say I think also historically I'm much more between the sticks kind of a goalkeeper. I'm trying
Okay,
to get the
traditional.
balance of being very traditional. I'm trying to in this game I feel like it's okay to be traditional to an extent, but now we're at the point where I think we need to start having a little bit more aggressive keeper play in certain points. So I just have
Yes.
to be very good in terms of my decision making on when I want to come out and how far I want to go out to be able to receive a ball.
Yeah, I think in a game that's 5v5, I think every member needs to be ready to receive the ball and maybe even make a play. I've seen a few games where I see a temporary keeper from time to time where the main keeper will rush out to try to get a big
Mm-hmm,
stop,
mm-hmm.
and I'll see a defender slot in and try to take the place of the goalkeeper temporarily. And it's worked out for some. I did see a scrim, I think 2 days ago, where maybe it was yesterday where they tried that, and of course the temporary goalkeeper was caught flat-footed, and the ball certainly went in the back of
Yeah,
the net. Unfortunate for that. But no,
yeah.
it is interesting to see the meta change. How do you feel about the missile meta?
Oh, just pinging the balls through the air.
Yes, straight towards
I
the
think,
box and hoping for that volley shot.
yeah. I mean, that's something that originally we didn't really, I guess, comprehend that, or we didn't really have that in our game plan. But over time, that's why we've been able to, I feel like, very quickly develop. Is we started to lean more into that, and we've just seen so much more success. And we've been, it's also, it's in a weird way, it's also, even though it's more of a complex pass than maybe a ground pass, it's been able to help our overall accuracy of passes. Because sometimes I feel like before we would try so many just like regular passes on the ground, and I think we us more than any team we're a really pass heavy team. So you can imagine that with so many ground passes in the first place, that we're gonna have turnovers at some point. Like there's just gonna be some passes that aren't on the foot as we need them to be. So now drawing into this missile meta where we just try to ping the ball into the box over to our, whoever's in the box at the time. It's been very beneficial to us. What I will say is, you can hear from Huey first, but defensively, it's very difficult just because if you get the perfect height on the ball, there's just nothing that the defender can do. So I think that's just something that maybe the devs of the game need to have a dialogue on and maybe need to figure out from the community.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. I don't necessarily like fully hate the missile meta. I do wish it was nerfed where you're in front of that player about to receive the ball and you jump up to do the clearance header and then it still goes past you and they're already,
Yeah.
kicking it. It's just, it feels a little bit cheap, I guess.
Yeah, the
I
offensive prio is pretty heavy.
yeah, I do kind of hate that. Hopefully when these next updates, we'll start seeing that kind of taper down.
Hmm.
But going into this tournament, I guess, how does Big Boys FC feel against some of the competition that you will be facing? Because there are some big names, like you said. Arctic Ace Esports are in here, Decimate Gaming, Avengers, Voidbound, F5 Penguin. You know what happened between F5 Penguin and Voidbound in that
I know,
qualifier.
that's unreal.
Yeah, that's a big one. You got PK, yourselves, of course. You have Manshine City, which is almost a tongue twister to say. Uh, you know, then you have some of these sleepers that could possibly cause an upset, like Silo FC, Rush FC. Radiant. We have all these other teams in here. How do you guys, I guess, feel about your chances of making it far into this tournament?
Well, I would say our last tournament, I think we ended up having so much success in terms of we reached the semis in a tournament where there were 37 teams, and that was our first tournament. And to be honest with you, I don't really know if going into that tournament we expected ourselves to make it to the semis. And I would say we during the tournament we had probably 4 or 5 games in a row where I don't even know if we scored a goal. Like we had a really bad offensive drought during the tournament, but we are a team that is very resilient. We were able to make it through. Obviously, made it through on the final day to get through the groups, and then got matched up with a great team in Verite FC. Obviously, they're a team that's they won every game in their group to get out as the number one seed, and from there, and then they're known for being in a bunch of other tournaments. Obviously, did well in the NA Open back in June. That started in June and stuff. So they're a very notorious team. We go into that game, first elimination game on the mind, and it's aggregate. We go down 2-0 after the first game. So we need to really gear something up to even force a game three. We go in that game, we start getting chances, but still no goals like halfway through the game, and then all of a sudden we just rattle off 4 goals in the final half of the game, and we ended up winning 4-2 on aggregate to make it through. And so that was probably like the biggest testament to what we do. Just always got to stay in the game, even if the things aren't going our way, just in terms of the way that we play. Um, yeah, we saw the result. We got a lot of good results against a great team like the Avengers. And then even though we lost to Skull 7 in the semis, we were able to get a draw in that second game. And I really liked that draw. It was just that
Oh
first game.
yeah.
Obviously, it was really poor from us. But I think looking into this PRA tournament is probably going to be the hardest overall tournament, just considering, like you said, there's so much like top name echelon talent that's already there. And then when you factor in all of the sleepers, all of teams that maybe are just being forged, and it's just so many great talent in this game. Now that we're over a month in to the actual launch date of this game, I just think there's going to be so much team. So, I mean, realistically, we could have a great team, go out round one just because they're playing against another amazing team. And I know it is double elim, but there's going to be it's going to be a true tournament, a test of a tournament to see which team really rises to the occasion.
Well said. No, I'm excited, and we still may see the likes of Verite and a few other Skull Seven. Even we still may see them enter this tournament. I think the
Hmm.
talks are in effect right now. So when I had gotten into this to cast, which was a couple days ago, it was at 13 teams. Now we're at 29. And that was 2 days later, essentially. Which I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane the growth. I'm excited to see, all the big names. I'm excited to see some of these guys I haven't had the pleasure of watching yet, because I think
Hmm.
they are going to bring it. Like you
Oh,
said,
easily.
like it's still so early in the game that when a team that I'm interviewed tell me, hey, we're going to bring it, I think, okay, they're going to bring it. I have no reason to doubt them. So yeah, that is exciting, and I guess I'm glad you're going to bring that competitive edge. But I have to ask, if you weren't playing competitively, in rematch, would there be another game that you would be playing competitively in?
I really don't think I would. This is the first ever game, I think me and then maybe a couple of my friends that we've played where it's competitive but multiplayer specifically. I've done a league before for a very niche game called Super Mega Baseball, which I still play like to this day on occasion. But it was a solo league, obviously, because it's just a 1v1. But that was my only competitive experience in games. Now I've done like personally, I used to be really big into speed running, so I have
Hmm.
some speed running like times in games and stuff. But when it comes to actual esports, I've never been a part of a multiplayer esports league um, until right now. So I think if rematch wasn't the game, I don't think we would be just be picking a different game just to do it. I think rematch presented us the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I think so. This game it's so much fun. It's so addicting. The fact that every pass is all detailed to how you execute it. I think it's just really rewarding gameplay. It's fun, even though
Mm-hmm.
it might have its minor bugs and issues, the netcode stuff, whatever. All that will get ironed out at some point. But yeah, it's such a fulfilling game to play. I absolutely love it as well.
Yep.
Well, I guess I might have one or two more questions for you. Rather easy questions. In the history of Big Boys FC, would you say that you have a rival yet?
I honestly, just because, as I've told you, we've only been in one actual tournament, and now
Yeah.
all the other tournaments and leagues are starting to gear up. So I would say we don't really have a specific rival. But what I will say is that if you ask again, some of the players on my team, there are certain teams that we look at them and we say, wow, they're a great team. We would love to be able to scrim them or just play them more. And we trying to beat those teams. These are teams like Voidbound, obviously, they're one of the best teams, and they were in our group in the launch cup. So we had to face them when we were, still in our early stages as a club, and we realized how great they were. So Voidbound's the team that we're obviously looking at. Skull 7 again, just for that, the semis rematch. Parlay Ego King's a great team. Bone Zone, what they've been able to do, they even reached, I believe, like they finished top 3 in the Aura Farm Invitational, and a lot of great teams like that. I would say if I had to pick a singular rival, though, just in terms of games played, it would be Manshine City. And they're not
Hmm.
a team that we've played in any league because obviously they weren't in the Federation, but they're a team that is in RNL, which is gearing up now. But we scrim them. We've played them probably 9 or 10 games of scrims, and it's been pretty even between us two teams. So, it's that's like the definition of a rivalry, even though we haven't actually met in terms of tournament play yet.
Well, let's all pray to the footballing gods that may happen in this tournament. I would love to see that
Yeah,
sort of storyline play out.
yeah, it'd be great.
That would be very, very fun. Hopefully it's a good ways in, so the stakes are really high and the pressure is on.
Yeah, yeah. We'd love to play any of those teams I mentioned. The Void Bounds and
Oh
even
yes.
we haven't. I mean, F5 Penguins. I mean, I don't even know where to start with them. So
Right? That's another, them and Voidbound, certainly two of the biggest competition teams you can face in this tournament. But so many others, of
yeah.
course, will be bringing it. But yeah, I understand your point totally. It's nice to take your team and measure yourselves against, consider the best teams in the game, or in A at
Hmm,
least.
hmm. Yeah.
Yep, so I am definitely excited for that. Well, I think we will draw this to a conclusion. However, I will be giving you the mic so that you can have some final words for either your future fans after Friday on Saturday who will see this interview, or for your own team, or for your competition out there. You can say something to one of those or even all three if you so decide, but the floor is yours starting right now.
Got it. First thing I'll say, because to answer your question, you had like a curiosity question earlier. The name Big Boys FC, where'd it come from? Well, we've just been friends for the longest time, and we started a Discord server, just a friendly Discord server, back in 2016. And for whatever reason, it was named Big Boys. So we've been Big Boys basically in that Discord ever since. And now we've just carried that over. And the mascot, he's like the mascot on the logo is the guy that's the poster child of that original server, and we've kind of gave him a new look and stuff. So that's just where it comes from. It has nothing to do with us maybe being big in real life. More so, just that's just the name we carried over. As to the fans and everybody else, I mean the fans specifically, we're just trying. We love to gain more fans. We're again, what makes us unique is that we're a team full of IRL friends. We're literally a team of friendship kind of team. And that's why we're trying to develop a lot of individual talent on the ball and stuff. But so far in, we just play the great way. And if you listen to our comms during our games, you would probably get an incredible laugh out of them because we're just always yelling around or making fun of people and stuff like that. So we don't take it. We don't kill ourselves over these games. We're very friendly in that way. So yeah, just fans. I just hopefully we do well in the PRA. Looking to get a couple results here and there. And what I told my guys though is that even though just because we made semis doesn't mean that's going to be happening every time. There's going to be tournaments where we enter and we're going to go out round one, and then there's going to be tournaments where we go far. And it's just a matter of trying to keep the consistency in our play and know that we're trying to play a winning brand of football. And so that will give us the results later down the line. And then to the opponents, obviously, good luck in the PRA. This is going to be the best tournament yet. And cheers to whoever gets the prize pool pot.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I'd certainly look forward to watching Big Boys FC tear it up out there. Hoping you guys make it far, of course. Hell, you can even win the whole thing. That would be awesome. And,
Would be
well,
amazing.
yes, it would. Well, I'm going to wish you the best of luck. I'm going to let you go. I'm sure you guys have some scrims to take care of as you prepare for Friday.
Yep.
And I want to certainly thank you for the time, sitting down and having this interview with me. Uh, I appreciate it. The org appreciates it and the fans will also appreciate it. Because this way we get some personality to the name. This way we kind of
Yep.
understand you a little bit better. And that, I think, will help us all grow as a community.
Yeah, the only thing we're looking for from the fans, hopefully, is some kind of slogan. Because right now we don't, what is it? Up the boys, up the bigs. We don't really have
Okay.
anything right now. So give us your ideas, and we'd love that.
Yeah, we'll certainly be on the lookout. Hopefully, during the tournament while we're casting it, hopefully there will be some fans in there coming up with something on the spot, maybe, or pulling something out of the
Yeah,
old drawer that they might be holding on to after this interview. That would be awesome.
100%. Well, I appreciate you, Chocolate, for calling me in for this interview. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, of course, Pel. No, I appreciate you sitting down with me. I'm gonna let you go, and again, good luck.